This is Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Before I get started, I want to give all praises to Abanawa Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. And may peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. May the power and might of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. Because we are definitely going to need it when it's all said and done. I got this video here. Now this is allegedly, all right, because there's videos going out right now of these protesters that were supposedly hit with some sort of a sonic weapon. All right, videos floating around on the internet. Of course, they deny the allegations, but regardless of the fact, we know Esau, he does have some shit that we haven't seen before, because we are coming, excuse me. We are coming into the climax of Jacob and Esau. All right. Esau, he's getting ready to tap into his blessing to the fullest, which is carnal, of course. And we're approaching that time where us being of the stock of Jacob are going to have to tap into our blessing in the spirit, because what Esau has in store through the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah on the left hand, we have no might. All right, we don't have no carnal means of defense, all right, to stand against Esau and his blessing. All right, Esau, he's about to pull out that sword, some shit that we've never seen before. So that's why when that time comes, that standard is going to have to be lifted. All right. So without further ado, fair use. I'm not making any type of monetary gain off this video. This is just for information purposes only. And we're just going to play this video and let the spirit flow.
Now, Serbia's President Aleksandar Vučić is denying claims that his police used a sonic weapon to disperse protesters at a rally in Belgrade. Footage of the alleged incident has been circulating on social media. Witnesses report hearing a sudden piercing noise, causing crowds to scatter in panic. Opposition groups and activists claim it originated from a sonic weapon. DW is unable to verify those claims. The prohibited device admits a burst of incredibly loud sound to temporarily incapacitate people. Now, Serbia has been gripped by months of protests, triggered by the collapse of a train station roof in the city of Novi Sad last November, which killed 15 people. Now, Pedro Oliveira works on sound studies, and he's done research on the use of so-called sonic weapons, and we can speak to him now. Welcome to DW, Pedro. You've seen the video of the protests in Serbia. Do you think that a long-range acoustic device has been used in this instance?
Hi, good evening. Well, I've seen the video as well as other so-called evidence that has popped up on social media so far, also reports on the ground. And I cannot say for sure that a long-range acoustic device was used. What I can say for sure is that in some degree, sound is being used as a weapon to cause havoc and panic into this crowd, which in itself, regardless of whether or not it is a long-range acoustic device or any other sort of sonic weapon that emits high-pitched sound or a low-pitched sound or whatever it is in itself cause of concern, for sure.
Tell us a little bit more about how a weapon like this actually works. So you said high-pitched sound.
Well, there are many uses of so-called sonic weapons, sonic deterrents, and many variations of those. So you can have, for instance, your classic, what is called a sound bomb, which is a stun grenade that emits just basically a loud bang. You can also have sonic booms, which are caused by airplanes flying, crossing over the sound barrier. that emits actually a low pitch sound. But the most common one, or the most used one, the ones that has the most kind of lore into it, is the long range acoustic device, which is basically a series of highly focused acoustic beams that can emit not only loud sounds to use to kind of direct speech, but also has the so-called warning tone, which is around the range of 2,500 to 3,000 hertz, which is really the threshold of pain, and emits that in a loudness of 130 up to 160 decibels at close range.
So what happens to people who've been exposed to sonic weapons? I mean, you said pain. Is it very painful? And what else happens? What else do the people feel who've been exposed to this?
The reports are varied. It causes from nausea to temporary hearing loss up to eardrum rupture. In some cases, especially with sonic booms, there has been even reports of miscarriages in pregnant people. So the reports are varied, but I think the most immediate effect will be pain, nausea, disorientation, and up to hearing loss, permanent or temporary.
Okay, so we're talking about some serious effects here. Is the use of these weapons legal?
It depends on the country. For instance, in the United States, I do think it is granted in specific cases. I mean, we have cases of the New York police using that in protesters. The European Union is a little bit ambivalent into that because of the legal threshold in which this kind of devices fall. I do know that in Serbia, it's not legal. So whatever it is being used there is definitely not being used in a legal manner.
So why would a weapon like this have been used then in the first place?
Well, I think exactly because of that idea that its effects are not immediately perceivable on the body, and they're very difficult to report. So they fall into this kind of, as I said earlier, this kind of lore and kind of exaggerated reports of what they can do, which serves both the cause of vouching for the use, but also the difficulty of laying claims to the damage that they actually cause. So exactly because they are in this blurry territory, they become very useful for this sort of repressions in these cases.
Can you give us any other examples, or examples of any other instances that weapons like this have been used?
I think the most recent example that I can give is the constant use of sonic booms by the Israeli army and Palestinians and Lebanese people. They have been using this for a long time. Also, long-range acoustic devices, which they call the Scream, or sometimes Inferno. The European Union has tested some of the long-range acoustic devices as devices in border control, especially in the Greek border with Turkey. That is as recent as 2021. So cases abound, really, of these kind of uses.
So yeah, notice how the question was asked, is this type of technology legal? And the thing is, it's not a thing of, do they have this type of technology, but more so, is it legal? Which goes to let you know that they have certain shit out there. All right. They have certain of this technology, and it has been used, throughout the years in different places, like they were explaining. All right. And you best believe, whatever it is that they put out there. All right. Over the years, people have been talking about these direct energy weapons. All right. Microwave guns and other things of that nature. It might be new to the population, but it's old. That's old news to the elites. You best believe whatever it is that they put out there, Esau, he has far more advanced type of technology. All right, far more advanced. Even when it comes to the MOTB, which I gotta say this because when it comes to the MOTB, and I always emphasize the point with the MOTB, it goes deeper than just buying and selling. Because when you read in Revelation 13, basically the events leading up to the technology, this type of technology that they will be able to possess in order to come up with the whole concept of an insertable device. All right. Again, not only is it going to, it's not just a matter of buying and selling. All right. Because when you read in Revelation 13, it goes into the miracles that's going to be performed. Basically, the spiritual power on the left hand that the so-called white man is trying to accomplish. All right, and that's why I started off with that Isaiah 59:19, because once Esau releases these weapons that again, it is going to be physically impossible to combat. It's going to be physically impossible to come against carnally. All right. And so much that even when it comes to Esau and the taking down of Esau, the only nation of people that's going to be able to take down Esau is himself. You know, and this is when we read the scriptures about the house divided against itself, right? Because who's going to take down Esau is going to be himself. And the Lord's going to use them Russians, which those Russians, they're not but Russian Edomites. All right. Esau, he puts different tags and labels on himself to basically hide who he is. But nevertheless, the Italians, they're not but Italian Edomites. The French, they're not but French Edomites. Germans, they're not but German Edomites. Australians, they're not but Australian Edomites, and so on and so forth. Now you do have Israelites scattered amongst these different parts, nations. All right. But nevertheless, just making the point of how when it comes to Esau and his superiority, when it comes to his technology, because that's a part of his blessing. Let me get that. And we're coming into the fullness, the perfection of his blessing, which it took three empires for Esau to perfect his blessing on the left hand, which is carnal. All right. But that's all right, because this is the time where our blessing will be perfected as well in faith, because it's going to take a great deal of faith. Again, as I read in Isaiah 59:19, when Esau comes with it, this is when that standard is going to have to be lifted. And that's when this is why the spiritual power is going to have to come. All right. So I'm going to grab this in Genesis. Just get to the point. Genesis 27. I'm gonna jump down. Genesis 27. Genesis 27, I'm going to read verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Which again, he's currently living that out. All right. You know, he has current rulership of the earth as we speak. All right. And he's living it up, or he has lived it up, you know. I never knew until brothers brought it out, there was a such thing as jet setting. You know, Esau, he can jet set. I didn't know that was a thing until brothers brought it out. Because you best believe, you know, when it comes to these elites, they don't eat the same foods that we eat. They don't eat GMO foods, you know. They don't wear the same clothes, you know, Because it's like you got a lot of these so-called rappers and celebrities, right? You know, they brag about how they don't wear the same shoes. You know, they only wear one pair of shoes, right? They don't ever wear the same clothes more than once, right? And things like that. How much more do you think the elites, the super rich elites, how much more higher level of living do you think they, you know, how we can only imagine, all right? How much better these elites are living, you know, eating real lamb, right? You know, and things of that nature, you know, living like real gods on the earth, you know, big G's, not little G's. I just had to throw that out there. But he's living out of the blessing, you know. The scriptures talk about how they are not in trouble as other men. At one point that applied to pretty much Esau in general, you know, because at one point, you know, the average Edomite, because, you know, here it is, Jacob's out here living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay bills. All right, there's a saying amongst our communities, you know, because if you got it to where, hey, you got your bills on auto pay, then you living a little decent, you know. You see, because at one point the average Edomite, they don't have to worry about bills, you know. They don't worry about bills, man. You know, they didn't go to the best schools, private schools, right, and things of that nature, you know. But again, we're at a time where Jacob is on the rise. Esau, he's at his downfall. And the scripture that I just quoted, they are not in trouble as other men. Really, at this point, that really applies to the elites. You know, because they're like I said, we can only imagine how they're you know, how they getting it in, you know. But you know, they got the fatness of the earth right now. You know, it says, and of the dew of heaven from above, right? They're in control of the resources, right? You know, you got our people talking about, I'm blessed, you know, which make no mistake about it, we are content, you know. The Lord loadeth us with daily benefits. The Lord takes care of us. But truly being blessed is having servants, you know. To be truly blessed is to have servants. These elites, we are all in servitude. We are all servants to the elites. So the elites are really blessed. They're really wealthy, you know. It says in verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And how did he get all that? By the sword, which is his blessing. And shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So that's the point. All right, that sword, which a part of his sword, because, you know, a sword can just be any instrument of killing, you know, destruction, right? And again, the shit that Esau has out there concerning his sword, you know, because this ain't nothing. Sonic weapons, that ain't nothing. Direct energy weapons, that ain't nothing. Microwave guns, that ain't nothing. Camouflage suits, that ain't nothing. All right. Esau, he's got some shit out here that we've never seen before. And it sounds far-fetched, but hey, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why we're going to need spiritual power. All right. Esau has some shit out here, man. You know. And again, because we are coming into the climax of Jacob versus Esau. You know, because matter of fact, I think it's in this chapter. Yeah, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And you see, Esau swore he was going to get revenge. All right. Esau swore that he was going to come after Jacob. You know, now this didn't happen at that time because eventually later on down the line, when Jacob and Esau reunited, pretty much it was all love for the most part, you know. Jacob was nervous or whatnot, but, you know, for the most part, Esau was happy to see Jacob. So that wasn't fulfilled. Now, we've seen some of that during the time of the Roman persecution. All right, the siege of Jerusalem, All right. But ultimately, this is going to be fulfilled in this time. All right. You know, the days of vengeance. Esau, he's going to come after Jake. Hence Jacob's trouble. That's why, again, part of why the Lord is speeding things up, he's going to have to come quick. All right. When Esau makes his move, you know, I'm going to grab this. Yeah, we're going to need that spiritual power, man. Second Edges 9. Second Edges 9 and 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And a part of those devices, all right, from the GMOs, you know, to the foods that we eat, to the, you know, chemtrails, you know, to the MOTB, right? But you know, just in general, when it comes to Esau's sword and what he has out there, man, again, the Lord's going to have to really speed things up. When Esau makes his move, the Lord's going to have to really speed things up and come and collect his remnant, his elect, because it's going to be that bad. All right. It's going to be that bad, man. You know, because Esau, he has some shit out here, man. You know, but this ain't nothing. All right. This ain't nothing, you know, concerning these sonic weapons and things of that nature. You know, Esau, he's got some shit that he's getting ready to unleash, you know. But Lord, one of this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.